On the 12th of January 2023, the TF2 asset repository was leaked, giving us full access to cut content from the game, including weapon models, textures, and maps. And in this video, I want to focus on one of them, and if you've been following my channel for a while, it should come to no surprise that that's Dustbowl. Now when I say that the maps were leaked, I don't mean the binary space partitions, or BSPs, which are the map files used whenever we join a game. What I mean is that the Valve map format files, or VMFs, which are the files used in the Hammer editor, were. And at first glance, this may not seem significant for a map like Dustbowl because we already have access to the original VMF via the source SDK, but this leaked VMF of Dustbowl is different. For starters, we can freely modify and recompile the map, which is something you can't do with the SDK VMFs. But more notably, over in the Fizz Groups panel on the right, there are a list of all custom Fizz Groups created by Valve. And for those of you who don't know what a Fizz Group is, it's just a custom group used to toggle a user-specified selection of objects on or off with the click of a mouse. For instance, these rocks and trees. Now normally, this wouldn't be a big deal because we already see most of these objects in-game and in the SDK. But if we scroll down, we see that there are some Fizz Groups left unchecked. And most of the items associated with these particular Fizz Groups don't exist in the Dustbowl BSP or SDK, meaning this is the first time since Dustbowl's inception that we're seeing this information. Okay, so what's in these Fizz Groups? The first one of interest is the Soundscapes group. It has a faded checkmark, meaning some of its contents are hidden. And as it turns out, there is exactly one hidden soundscape located above Stage 1's second control point. But this is outside of the map, so why is it here? Well, in early builds of the map, this area was actually traversable as another way to reach the second control point from the tunnels, but was later scrapped for some unknown reason. And this soundscape is one of the only remnants left of that early build. Further down the Fizz Groups list, we see Old Path Stairway and Old Path Details. Enabling both of these restores the otherwise empty region to its former self, adding barrels, pickaxes, boxes, a door, and even a crane. And just below it is a skip rush that marks what would have been a hole in the floor for dropping down. It's even got this cute little ammo and health bundle down in the mine. Just imagine how this would play out in a modern game of TF2. Another remnant of an old scrapped layout is the Driller Temp Fizz group with two wooden ramps. In this version, they don't take you anywhere, but in the Pre-Fortress one, they almost connect the inside of this building to the ground on the outside. So my guess is that Valve was going to make this side of the building accessible, but later scrapped that idea and built a new set of ramps on the other side. The next disabled Fizz group is Funk No Builds, which consists of several dozen no-build brushes placed in specific parts of the map. Now their placements don't make that much sense, and that's because these brushes were ported directly over from Team Fortress Classic's VMF, which was also leaked, and we can actually see this in TFC's Dustbowl by going engineer and trying to build something in one of these locations. The game won't let you, and you'll instead get a message that reads, "You're not allowed to build here." These brushes exist because unlike in TF2, in TFC, if there isn't a no-build brush in spawn or in narrow passageways, engineers can build in those zones, allowing players to teleport into spawns and completely block off parts of the map from others. The next Fizz group is Problem Hints, which is comprised of only 2 hint brushes. And to be honest, I don't know if or why these are or were problems, but it's not like they alter the map's gameplay, visuals, or sounds, so I'm not going to pay much attention to them. Our next Fizz group, called Minehead Cable, consists of only one thing, a cable. It connects this headframe to an arbitrary point on the ground, which does make sense since headframes in real life do have cables connecting them to winding drums to hoist material out of the ground. So in this instance, I don't know why the cable was left out. Maybe the headframe is supposed to be decommissioned, so it shouldn't have one? I don't know. If it were up to me, I would have left it in. Last but not least, we have 3D Sky Clouds and 3D Sky Power Cables, which are located in the map's 3D Skybox. Now, in the normal Hammer editor, we'd have to compile the map to see how it looks in relation to everything else, but a nifty little feature in Hammer++ allows us to preview this 3D Skybox within the editor by turning the Skybox into an instance through Tools, Create Instance from Selection. And I'll go ahead and name it Dustbowl Sky and hit OK. Now, if I disable tool textures and no draw faces, we have a clear, accurate render of the 3D Skybox. And I just want to know, Valve, why did you leave this out? The utility poles within the map have to be connected to high voltage power lines from somewhere, and the clouds just look pretty. though I can understand if they were omitted due to the map's climate. But regardless, I think it's super cool that we got to see a little more history of TF2's Dust Bowl, even if we can't experience it firsthand in a public game. A private game though, that's definitely possible, and we sort of already have that in the pre-Fortress version of the map, which I'll have a link to in the description. There's a lot more hidden stuff from other leaked VMFs, so if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll make a sequel to this. Thank you for watching. This is LED switching off.